Welcome back to another review, and today we have Kingdoms Reborn. And before I get into any details, I'll go straight into if it's worth it by Kingdoms Reborn. And my answer for that is a yes, it is. But what is Kingdoms Reborn? So, based on the description of the game, it's a city builder with simulated citizens set in a procedurally generated world map where you have to grow your kingdom through the eras from a medieval hamlet into a prosperous global empire. And you can also cooperate or compete in real time with your friends in multiplayer mode. So a lot of different things in here, and it's also inspired by kind of Banished, maybe a kind of, like there is a little bit of both in there. It's a city builder that is a procedural open world, and I think the multiplayer option is fantastic as well. So there are a few things in there that is quite good. But before we jump into the reasons why I think it's Kingdom Reborn is worth it, I just want to thank you for all the likes and all the feedback I get on the videos. I really appreciate that. So thank you. Now, the pros of the game. I'll start with the difficulty. It's a challenging game. There's definitely a lot of challenge in there, and I've struggled. You could think that this is a bad thing, but to be honest, in a survival game, and that you expect things to be harsh, especially depending on the environment you're playing, you'd expect the difficulty level to be high. And Kingdoms Reborn doesn't disappoint in that point. So it is challenging. I think it also has different elements for the gameplay, and it brings different challenges on how you play the game as well. So one of the biggest challenges that you might have is resource management, which is quite difficult to balance, and to find the right resource across the map. It's also not very simple to expand, as you have to buy new land to expand your town. But also that's another good point for the game, resource management, where you actually need to pay attention. It's not something that you set and forget. As you grow and as you progress, there is a lot that you have to come back and look into and make sure that everything is still balanced, and that you also have the resource you need to keep growing. Next is the size, and for the size I mean the map and the amount of things you can do and you can have in the game. So starting with the map, you can have huge maps and huge areas that you can grow and expand and explore, and that's just like amazing. It's ridiculously large, and it's pretty good. Like I really love. If you know me from the other games that I play in the channel, you know that I usually go for the extra large maps. Like for example, in Transport Fever or City Skylines, I will unlock all the tiles and I'll play with that. And I'm impressed with the size of the map on Kingdoms Reborn. It's really nice. In terms of management, the amount of things that you can manage and the amount of layers that you have as well. Like you don't just have managing research, you don't have just the city building components. You have your citizens' well-being, and you have wars and like your troops and other towns and growth, and then you have a card system that I will talk in a few moments. But there's so much in there for you to look at. It's good. Like it's really good. The next one is that the game is in active development. It's still in early access, but there is a lot coming through. And like recently, there was a new faction just released, and this adds like a quite a different level to the game as well. And there are things coming every few months, and they're good. Like they're very polished features that are coming through, and factions very well done with a story behind all of that, and it's really good. And finally, I think it's fun. Like it's a game that I've been having fun, and even the failures have been something nice, and I've been enjoying playing this quite a lot. So I'm I'm really keen on playing more of this game and seeing what comes next. I'm having a lot of fun. In terms of comps, I think there are a few things that I would like to bring to attention. I think the UI needs some polishing still, especially the menu where you can see all your resources. It's sometimes not easy to identify things or to find what you need, and I think that needs a little bit more polishing, and that's maybe some of the game in general maybe needs some rebalancing on the resource. I don't know if I was just unlucky on my playthroughs that I didn't have all the resources available around me, but I felt like for starting a new city, you would have a little bit more balance around the starting point. But might be unlucky, but I would love to see a little bit more, a little bit of rebalancing in the game. And the next one is about the seasons. Although they're great and they work really well and they change the dynamic of your city quite dramatically. For example, during winter, you spend a lot more wood than you would in summer, for example. But I think they go past too fast. It just feels like we could linger on those seasons a little bit further to gather more resource or to spend more resource, and just to, I don't know, feels like you would have a little bit more fun and the game goes through too fast. That's my gut feeling there. And the final one is not a pro or a con, it's just like kind of in the middle, is the card system that I mentioned before. So you, throughout the game, you get cards, and these cards will give you some options for the buildings you can build. So you can't build whatever you want. You have to wait for these cards. Although if you accumulate 5 cards without using it, it can be translated like in a wild card that you can basically build whatever you want that you have unlocked, of course. And that creates like a lot of different dynamic in the game. But again, because I think it just goes a little bit too fast, I've end up always accumulating a lot of wild cards, and I don't even use them like all that much. So I'm not completely sure if it's well balanced as well. So again, this goes back to the game is an early access. It still needs some balancing, but I think we'll get there. And it's just part of the growth of the game throughout the development phase. There we go. In conclusion, if I think it's worth it, it's definitely yes. As I mentioned, there is a lot more pros than cons in my view. Obviously, this is all based on my opinion of the game. I've played it. I have a quick playthrough in the channel as well if you want to check it out. But I think it's very promising. There is a lot of nice things in this game. I love the progression throughout areas as well. And I think this is something that I will still play for quite a while. Now, I just want to thank you again for watching this video. Just reminder that we have a Discord server. You can join there to have a chat about this game and other games that we play, and to share your city and some screenshots if you like as well. We'd love to see that, and we love to share our own. It's a nice community, and I think you might enjoy that as well. And consider watching the video on your screen, because I think you might like that as well. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.